Hey, how's it going? This is Darrin Goodman from GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. Today I want to show you Hellion by Judas Priest. This is like the little intro section to the song Electric Eye on Screaming for Vengeance. Anyway, this is a cool song to play with a friend because it's got a harmony, so it's kind of why I want to show it to you is just another cool little riff that you can play, and it has a harmony that you can play it with a friend. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at this. All right, so this has it actually on the recording it has three guitar parts. They're being played, but live they just do two. So we're going to be looking at this as if this is like the live version, so you can play it with a friend. All right, so guitar. Let's start with what guitar 2 is doing first. So guitar 2, in the beginning of it, is just playing chords, just playing the rhythm part, and it's really easy to play. So the first thing we have is just an E5 power chord. So I'm on the 9th fret of the 5th string with my first finger, and the 4th fret, or excuse me, the 9th fret of the 4th string. I think I said 9th fret here. I mean 7th fret. We're on the 7th fret of the 5th string with our first finger, and then the 9th fret of the 4th and 3rd string with our 3rd finger. So we're just... and that is the shape that we're going to be playing throughout this. We're just going to be moving it around. So we start off with E5, and it is a whole note, so it's just going to ring out for 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next measure, we just move it down a whole step to D5. So now I'm on the 5th string on the 5th fret with my first finger, and the 7th fret of the 4th and 3rd strings with my 3rd finger. And this is also a whole note. Then the next measure, it goes to a C5. So we move it down another entire whole step. So now I'm on the 3rd fret of the 5th string with my first finger, and the 5th fret of the 4th and 3rd string with my 3rd finger. And this is played as a dotted quarter note. So what that means, if you don't know what a dotted note is, it's simply that it's a quarter note which gets 1 beat, and so it's dotted. Anytime a note is dotted, you just take 50% of its value and add it to it. So in other words, this chord is going to ring out for 1.5 beats. It's going to ring out for the entire quarter note of beat number 1, and then it's going to ring out on half of beat number 2. And then on the and of 2, we're going to switch back to the D5, and it is a whole note, or excuse me, a half note that is tied to an 8th note. So that's going to account for the rest of the measure. So measure number 4, you got, and then it just simply starts over because it repeats. So you got, so on the record, like I said, that part that is holding those chords continues throughout the whole thing. So it would be a total of 16 measures of doing that. But on live, like I said, unless you got maybe you got 2 buddies that play guitar and all 3 of you can play this. But live, it's just the bass player that's hitting those notes. All right, so guitar 2. This is where it gets into that little melody. That starts off, we're on the 9th fret of the 4th string with our 3rd finger, and this is also actually starting on the and of 1. So when you're just playing this by yourself, it sounds kind of strange because what's driving it is the that comes on first, so it's like, whoops, oh, wrong fret. So you're getting that E note to kind of drive it to start off with. So when you're just playing this alone, it is going to sound a little bit strange, but you just want to make sure that you don't hit this note on the downbeat of 1, because then you'll be ahead and it will not sound right. All right, so 9th fret of the 4th string with your 3rd finger, and then from there it goes to the 8th fret of the 2nd string and I use my 2nd finger, and then to the 7th fret of the 2nd string with my 1st finger with some vibrato. And then back, and then to the 9th fret of the 3rd string with my 3rd finger. That's the first measure, so it's... Then the second measure is the exact same thing, because you remember the chord, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got... And then on the 3rd measure, when the other guitar switches to the D5, we start off with that same 9th fret of the 4th string, but now we're going to use our 1st finger to play that note. And then from there it's going to go to the same rhythm and timing as the other measures, but it's just those 2 notes change. So instead of being 7 and 6, or excuse me, 8 and 7, now we're going to go 12 and 10. So it's to 12 on the 4th string, or excuse me, the 3rd string. So 9th fret of the 4th string with your 1st finger, to the 12th fret of the 2nd string, and I'm using my 4th finger, to the 10th fret with my 2nd finger, and then to the 12th fret of the 3rd string. So now you could use the other, just your first 3 fingers if you want, whatever's more comfortable. Once you get up this high, the frets are closer together, and just, kind of depending upon the size of your hands, is what's more comfortable. And I honestly probably don't play it the same way every time, my hand's kind of on autopilot, and I just do whatever. All right, so the first 3 measures. And then for the 4th measure, you're going to want to reach up and bar across the 10th fret of the 5th and 4th string with your 2nd finger, to the 12th fret of the 4th string with your 4th finger, and then your 1st finger bars across the 9th fret of the 3rd and 4th strings. So that last measure. And then it just starts over again because it's a repeat. So guitar 1 that is playing this little melody, you go through it, it's 4 measures long, and then you repeat it. So now you've played 8 measures. And then on the next section where the harmony comes in, you continue to play that. So, and it's also got to repeat. So another 8 measures. So it ends up being a total of 16 measures long. So that whole section, slowly. Okay. Now, for the harmony part of it, and this is where guitar 2 that was playing the chords is now going to join in and do a harmony with this. So the first 3 measures, the timing is exactly the same as what guitar 1 is doing. It's different notes to make the harmony. The 4th measure is a little bit different, and we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so for this section, we're going to start off with that, they start off on the same note here, the 9, but we're going to be using our 1st finger. Then to the 12th fret of the 2nd string with your 4th finger. to the 10th fret, and I'm using my second finger, and then to the 8th fret, and I use my first finger. So. The first and second measure of this section are both the same, just like for guitar 1. And then for the third measure of this, we're going to go up to the 14th fret on the 4th string, and I'm going to use my third finger. And then I'm going to go to the 12th fret of the 3rd string with my second finger, and then to the 11th fret. So, and then all the way up to the 16th fret with my 4th finger. So this one's a little more of an awkward change, but like I said, it's the harmony to that other part. So, all right. So let's just play just those first 3 measures of the harmony. So it's. Whoops. All right, and then from there, the very last measure, which isn't a harmony with what's going on, it just kind of goes, it's an accompaniment that goes with it. It's kind of strange, especially if you just play it by itself. It sounds a little weird, but when they're played together, it actually sounds really cool. It is just simply the 12th fret of the 1st string, and I'm using my 3rd finger. And this is a dotted quarter note. So this is going to account for beat number 1, and then the first half of beat number 2. Then to the 10th fret of the 1st string, and I use my 1st finger, and this is also a dotted quarter note. So these 2 notes actually take up the first 3 beats. So it would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and then back to 12 for 4. So, and then it just starts over. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that and got something out of it. If you've got a friend, you can play it together, or you could, if you have a looper, use a looper, or even just grab your cell phone and record yourself playing that harmony, or excuse me, the melody, so that way you can play the harmony along with it, or you could do it the other way around, whichever way you want to do it. In fact, it's probably a good idea to do both. It's good practice. So anyhow, if you enjoyed that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave me some comments down below. Anyway, until next time.